Hello and welcome to Provoking Tech. I'm Zach, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about playing Jurassic World Evolution on LiquidSky's cloud gaming platform, or rather a quick spoiler, attempting to play Jurassic World Evolution on LiquidSky's platform. So guys, without further delay, let's go ahead and get right to it. So I've recently been thinking about implementing a rating system at the launch of these videos so that you guys can have a quick idea of how well that game performs on that platform, if there's any issues that impact the overall experience, and so on and so forth. So sadly, the first video that I've recorded after I've made that decision is Jurassic World Evolution on LiquidSky, which gets 0 out of 5 hearts. And I went with the heart theme simply because it seems to be a theme that's persistent throughout the gameplay world for a life meter. So the reason why Jurassic World Evolution gets such a low score on LiquidSky is because of a mouse issue. And this isn't the mouse issue that I've talked about in previous videos over and over again, where you have to Alt-Tab to Chrome or a similar application, hit the F12 key, and then the gamer mouse mode will be engaged. Then you can Alt-Tab to your game, hit F12, and you can now use the mouse normally as you would in that game. Sadly, that issue is not as simple in Jurassic World Evolution on LiquidSky. So for some reason, the way that LiquidSky does the mouse, you can actually hit F12 in Jurassic World Evolution and engage gamer mouse mode. The issue here is when you engage gamer mouse mode in LiquidSky when playing Jurassic World Evolution, the mouse cursor actually becomes invisible. So you don't know where you are, and it's pretty much impossible to try to click on things. So this is where issue number 2 comes in play. So I decided to try to play without gamer mouse mode. Things seem to function fine. I can move the mouse around fine, and that's because this isn't a first-person game where your mouse is kind of locked to your cursor, where you use it to rotate your camera and things like that. Your camera is actually rotated using keyboard keys. So like, okay, this actually might still be totally playable. So I started playing, going around my park, investigating things, how everything's going. And then I realized I couldn't click on buildings or certain menu elements. So this is where things get really confusing, because the mouse cursor simply does not work. The click simply does not work in the game, and I can't explain why. I tried troubleshooting this. I tried playing on multiple different days to see if it was just a weird issue. I've tried connecting from a different device. I've tried using a different mouse. Regardless of what I do, this is not an issue, I don't think, with any hardware or my computer that I'm playing on, because like I've said, I've tried on different devices with different mice. So it definitely seems to be an issue with the way that LiquidSky handles the mouse. And we've had persistent issues with this over and over again in the past, where normally this is easily resolved, but in Jurassic World Evolution it's completely unplayable because of this mouse issue where you can't click on buildings to release dinosaurs that you hatched to begin with. In fact, if you hadn't already started playing the game on a different computer, you'd actually never be able to even hatch a single dinosaur. So this is a complete game stopper for playing Jurassic World Evolution on LiquidSky's platform, and it really highlights the reason why LiquidSky needs to devote their resources to work on some of these core fundamental aspects of their platform if they're going to succeed in the future. Now, today's mouse issue is unique. I've never actually experienced it before on any other game, and it could simply be fixed by a hotfix by the LiquidSky team. But we've had ongoing issues with the mouse. We've had issues with the streaming client, and in terms of quality, you get the weird artifacting sometimes, actually quite often. But these core fundamental aspects are something that's going to be a bad end experience for someone that's trying to play on the platform. And there's completely other issues that are not resolved to the core fundamentals, such as the pricing structure, where the monthly plan doesn't make a lot of sense anymore, because for $5 more in the month, at least in the US, you can have an option like Shadow, which is a much more powerful computer, and you also have unlimited hours. So there's other things that need to be addressed, but these core fundamentals are something that is going to be a complete game stopper for some games, and it's really going to severely impact the experience to the end user. It's just like a baseball team, for example. If you're having a losing streak, sometimes you have to go back to the basics of focusing on hitting the ball and catching the ball and throwing it to the base that makes sense before you focus on getting those home runs and making double plays. It's the same thing here. LiquidSky needs to severely focus on the core fundamentals if they're ever going to succeed. I am going to continue playing on LiquidSky and doing videos on it, but the service is getting harder and harder to recommend, and I'm hoping that maybe they might watch this video and severely take to heart why they need to focus on these core fundamental aspects of the game if they have any hope of their company succeeding in the future, especially with competition severely heating up. We have some very big companies out there already on the market. NVIDIA might go public sometime and allow open signups, which will open the floodgates to more and more people, because there's constantly people asking for keys for the closed beta. So there's a lot of people very interested in NVIDIA's platform, and depending on how they price it, and they are poised to have a very competitive pricing just simply because there's such a huge company already, so they can afford to take some losses possibly, and plus they make the GPUs, which is the most expensive part for the most part in cloud gaming, from the hardware perspective, with people having to buy like P5000s because they don't allow companies to have GTX 1080s in their data centers. So with all that in mind, NVIDIA is really set up to have a very competitive pricing for their product, and once that goes mainstream, it's very powerful. It does have some limitations, but there's going to be a lot of competition, and there's already a decent amount of competition out there in the market. So if LiquidSky has any hope of really succeeding in the future, they need to focus on these core fundamentals right now before that competition really heats up in the future. So that's about all that I have to talk about to issue today. It was simply completely unplayable, which is frustrating, and so that's kind of why I went on today's rant. Hopefully it wasn't too long, but it's just an ongoing issues that we've had to deal with LiquidSky, and having games completely unplayable on your platform isn't a good end user experience. And once again, I do want to reiterate that today's issue is completely unique. I've never actually experienced it before, but we've had ongoing issues with LiquidSky that haven't been resolved for over a year. So I kind of took this opportunity to bring up those points and why LiquidSky needs to focus on the core fundamentals. So thanks for watching today's video, guys. I hope you guys found this video informative. And if you did, give it a big like. I do greatly appreciate that. Also, if you're not already an existing subscriber, make sure to smash that subscribe button to stay tuned for more great videos from Provoking Tech. Thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, Zach out.